Hello and welcome to the 5K 50 Project. Today we're out cruising the neighborhood on a quick little spin, enjoying the 40-degree weather, the slight snow flurries, to talk about two things. Number one, talk a little bit about fitness motivation, how to stay motivated for your project. And number two, looking at possibly building a gravel bike.
Here we go.
So as I film this, it is January 2nd, and many of you may have already given up on your New Year's project or your New Year's resolution. But again, that's the one thing that's nice about projects rather than resolutions, is it's a project. You just keep working at it. So today I want to talk about a few things that help keep me motivated to work on my cycling. And then we'll do another video to talk about how to stay motivated for nutrition, two big components in my losing weight process. The first thing that I've used for years is simply committing to events. Every year the last 10 or 11 years, I've used Lotoja, a big ride in September of 200 miles, to keep me focused and motivated. And by signing up for that, plunking down my own money, and committing to that event helps keep me motivated throughout the year. However, this year with my 5K 50 project, I need something a little more than that. So I'm going to commit to several events. The first one I've committed to is the end of March, which will be a little bit of a surprise. I'll tell you about that later as we get closer. And looking at some other events in May, June, July to keep me extra motivated. So sign up for an event, whether it be running, cycling, whatever. Commit to something. Nothing like having your money on something to help keep you motivated.
Ain't no rain clouds bringing us down. Here we go.
Another way to stay motivated is to have a good support group. I'm fortunate enough to be part of a little cycling team, mostly of neighborhood folks and friends and relatives. Our Just Keep Pedaling group is our Lotoja team, so being involved with them every year keeps me motivated to get out on the bike. It's a lot easier to get up at 5:30 in the morning and get out on your bike when you know someone else is going to be sitting on your driveway. You can also use online programs like Strava or Zwift. This winter I do a lot on Zwift, where I get to ride with people all over the world and in turn give them a little support, give them a thumbs up when they start to ride, and they give me some support. I have kind of liked this year. I've been a little more active on Zwift as a social platform, where I've added a whole bunch of new friends. I pay attention to who I'm riding with, and every morning it's kind of fun to see all those thumbs up and those encouragements as I cruise along on my morning workout. Be involved. Join your local cycling group or running group or whatever it is that you're into. Be active on social media platforms such as Strava or Zwift or whatever it is that you like to be involved with, and use that as a tool to help keep you motivated to keep your fitness goals up.
When you're next to me, I lose track. Come on close to me. This is paradise, we're never ever gonna leave. Here we go.
Probably the main thing I use for motivation is data. I love looking at data. I'm kind of a numbers geek in a lot of different ways. Not good at math, but love numbers. Go figure. In any case, I love looking at numbers, and I use numbers in lots of different ways. Number one, I look at my total miles. With my 5K 50 project, my ultimate target is 5,000 miles. So I look at my monthly miles, my weekly miles, and try to keep that end target of 5,000 miles in mind and work towards that. That's my ultimate motivation. But I use numbers in lots of different ways. For one, I kind of like looking at a few Strava segments. Here in my local rides, I look at a few hill climbs, a few little segments I like to monitor where I'm at, that I can gauge my fitness on, and I look at those and try and beat my best times. You can even use segments in my virtual world of Zwift. They have Zwift uploads to Strava. They have segments on Zwift, and I can use those to monitor how fast I'm going is over certain segments and target certain segments. Another way I use data more recently is my power numbers. I recently got a pair of Ossiomo Favero power pedals, which I love to use. One thing I like about them is that I can use them on any bike at any time, and including I can use them on Zwift on my current setup. But one thing I like to do is monitor a couple of data points for my power numbers. So on the board here I have my 5 second, my 1 minute, my 5 minute, and my 20 minute power numbers, and I can kind of post up here and monitor what my best is. So at certain times I'll work on one section or another. You may not be able to see this too great. 5 second, my 1 minute, my 5 minute, my 20 minute power. Across the top I have different dates so I can see what I'm doing. As you can see today on January 2nd I set my 5 second power record. So I have my whiteboard just set up right in front of me, and I can post my different numbers and keep those in mind as I target different power data. If you've liked these motivation tips so far, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment below on what you do to help keep yourself motivated throughout the year. The last thing that keeps me motivated is simply rewards. Having a nice little reward system built in. Probably my best reward is when I'm in full training mode and trying not to eat too many sweets and candy and crap, is I have Dove dark chocolate as my reward. At the end of the day, if I've met my eating and fitness goals for the day, I will reward myself with 3 little dark chocolates. It's a great motivating tool, gets my sweet tooth satisfied, and something I enjoy. But rewards can be anything. Sometimes I'll set a target and reward myself with a new pair of bib shorts or a new jersey or something like that. Your reward can be anything, big or small, as long as it's meaningful to you.
Here we go.
The last way I try and stay motivated is simply to review where I'm at and reset my targets. One of the reasons why projects are way better than resolutions, because as a resolution, once you're off track, once you've failed to reach it, you're kind of screwed, you're stuck, you're done. But with projects, it's always a work in progress. So every few weeks or every month, you review where you're at, you review what you've done, you look at your numbers, you look at some of the data, and you reset. You might have to reset your goal to a little higher target, or you might have to set it to a lower target. But one of the great things about a project is you just keep working on it. As an example how nice it is to review and reset in a project, last year in July I got a nasty case of bronchitis. It kind of knocked me off my bike for more or less a month. But instead of getting really frustrated and getting down and feeling like I'm missing my targets or completely failing, I simply reset, I started over, and built towards my end target of loaded jaw. Now, I didn't quite finish loaded jaw this last year. You can check out my video on that, but I did most of it, and I felt really good about what I was able to accomplish with my reset targets.
Here we go.
Those are the 5 ways I keep my motivation high for my fitness level. I sign up for events. This year I'm going to try and add a couple more events. I have a support group built in, either my neighbors and my local group or social media support groups. I use data like crazy, love looking at numbers. Make sure I have some type of reward system built in, and take some time to review and reset some of my targets. Next time we talk about nutrition. Staying motivated for nutrition is going to be a little tougher for me. That's where I have a little less willpower. I can get motivated to get out and ride my bike almost any time. Trying to stay away from treats, sweets, cookies, and cakes, that's a whole nother story. One project I'm thinking of doing is converting this bike to a full-on gravel bike. This is a bike I bought for my son a couple years ago while he was up in Washington State on a church mission, and now it's mostly just sitting in our garage. So instead of buying a new gravel bike, I might want to convert this one to a gravel bike. Currently, as you can see, it has a flat bar. It does have a suspension shock, which I may or may not change. It has a triple crank, the SRAM X5 derailleur. It does have some decent tires on it, some 700 by 40C tires. Kind of heavy rims, but I could convert this, put a drop bar on it, make it into maybe a single speed or a new Shimano GRX. Might be a project I tackle. What do you think? Let me know if it's in the comments if you think that's possible, what I should put on it, what I should aim for. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little chat about motivation, a look at my possible gravel bike build. If you liked the information, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps me out.